Hello everyone. So this is a normal tutorial video, which I will be getting back to. This is showing something that I think will help a lot of people. So full disclosure, I'm not being paid to show this. I have no special treatment. I've simply been asked to try it out in my own time. And if I want, I can make a video, which I'm going to do today. I have no rules about what I can say, and they have not encouraged me to give positive feedback. It's just my honest opinion. So the software is called Aura, and here is the website. It's tryaura.dev. And basically, it's like a AI assistant that completely understands Unreal, and it's actually embedded into Unreal, as you can see here, via a plugin. Now, if you're interested in this, there's two ways you can eventually try it, which is to join the waitlist here, or they're giving me 3 invite codes to give out. And if you look in the description, there'll be a Google form that you can fill in some information, and then you may win an invite code to this. So what I've got here is just a first person blank template, and I've installed the plugin, as you can see up here. And the first thing I'm going to do is click this sync files. And what this is going to do is it's going to run through all the files in the project. They can be Blueprint, they can be C++, and it's going to index them into its knowledge. Now, anything that you work on using Aura, it doesn't get sent to any servers or anything. All the information is running locally. So as soon as you, for example, delete the chat with Aura, or you delete Aura from your program, it will not transmit anything back. I asked that during my first talks with a developer, and they've told it multiple times that it does not do that. So you don't have to worry about it spying on or stealing your things, if that's what you're worried about with AI. So now we've indexed our files, we need to actually launch Aura itself. So if I load up the app here, so these 2 boxes are just because this is the development, like it's a very early build, these will be gone soon. So here we go. As you can see, if you've used other AIs like ChatGPT, Gemini, you'll be used to things like this. So as you can see now, we are running the server. So I'm going to just ask this, what can you tell me about this project? Oh. So what it's going to do now is it's basically going to check, using the plugin, all the files and get an understanding of the project. So I'm just going to let this process so you can see exactly how it runs in real time. So like I said, this is like a very early build into it. They've only been working on this, I think, 2.5 months, and it's already very impressive. So they did say that it will speed up and things like that. And as you can see here, it's currently using Sonnet 4. And they've explained to me that what it's done is they've trained it on like all the Unreal Engine source code. I think it's mainly 5.4 and 5.5 for now. And there is also, if you run a custom build of Unreal, like you've built your own source from source, there is a way to get this running in that as well. I'm just using the default version. So as you can see here, it's now adding to its memory everything in the project. So here we go. So it's found out that Aura FPS, which is what this is called, is a first-person shooter built on Unreal's first-person template. So now it's figured out the game mode, the character, the weapon system that we use in enhanced input, the current level, and the current state of the project. So it's saying that everything's well-rounded foundation, and here what we can do now is we're at step 5. So I'm going to say to it, I want to make a first-person horror game. How can I add a flashlight to the player? So I'm treating this as if I was new to Unreal, which I think this is perfect type of thing for. So as you can see now, you can highlight these and it will tell you what it's doing and like the code it's running through. So let's just let this run like this. So as you can see here, where it says the word validate, what it's doing is instead of just thinking about how it should be done, what it does is it does multiple validation checks to check that it isn't actually hallucinating anything. So it will check through what it thinks is the correct solution, then it will validate that, and then it will validate again to check that it's not added extra nodes into it and everything matches the Unreal documentation. So here we go. Now we have our steps to add the flashlight. So let's follow along and see what we do. So what I've done here is I've just pinned Aura to the right, and here is my Unreal here, so I can read it. So first thing we're going to do is look for the first person blueprint character, like this. And what it wants us to do is it wants us to add a spotlight component, like this. And we're going to name it flashlight. And then in the details panel, it wants us to change the settings. So intensity 3000, inner cone angle. So this 15, 35, attenuation 2000. Light color, it wants us to do a warm white. So we can expand this and do on green 240 and then blue 200. So you have like a warmish light. Cast shadows is true, and the transform, it wants us to do 10, 0, minus 5, like that. Okay. Next, it wants us to, I'm not going to do this part, the static mesh, because I don't have a mesh as a placeholder at the moment, but it does say use a cylindrical mesh as a placeholder. Okay, so let's also make sure parent it to the first person camera, so we can do that like that. So now the flashlight is a part of the camera. Let me just make sure that that is correct because it's moved because I forgot to parent it. Okay. Next is create variables. So we're going to create is flashlight on. Then we need a float, which is flashlight battery level. We need another float, which is battery drain rate. And then flashlight intensity. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Intensity. And let's put the values in. So compile. Flashlight battery is 100. The drain rate we're going to put as 2. And the intensity is 3000. Next, create an input action. So we can go input action and then input action IA_flashlight. And then in the IMC default, we're going to add flashlight and then click and bind it to F. Okay, now we've got the blueprint logic. So toggle flashlight function. So we're going to call IA underscore flashlight. Like this. And we're going to do a branch. And we're going to get is flashlight on. Like this. And to true, it says, oh, it wants us to create functions. Sorry, I misread. So toggle flashlight. And then we need to make turn on flashlight and then turn off flashlight. There we go. So toggle flashlight, we're going to do a branch. And we're going to get is flashlight on. True, we're going to pull in turn flashlight off. False. We're going to do another branch and get is flashlight battery level greater than 0. If it's true, we turn flashlight on, and false is dead battery. Okay. So the turn flashlight on function, we're going to set this to true, get the flashlight spot and do set flashlight visibility to true. Because we don't have the mesh, we're not going to do that. And then we're going to set the intensity here to the flashlight intensity. Okay. And then turn flashlight off, set flashlight on to false, grab the flashlight spot and do set visibility to false, like this. So now in the main graph logic here, what we can do is we can call toggle flashlight here. Then on event tick, we can do a branch. Is flashlight on? If it's true, we want to do another branch and say, is the flashlight battery level greater than 0? What we could do is take these two and just combine them into an AND, like that. So we're going to say flashlight battery level, I'm going to set it, is equal to flashlight battery minus the flashlight battery drain. So let me just see, battery level equals battery level minus battery drain rate multiplied by delta seconds. Get delta delta time second. I think it's delta. Get world delta seconds, like that, and we can put that in there. Then it wants us to clamp float between 0 and 100 and put that in like that. And then on false, we want to turn flashlight off. I can see why it's done this. It wants us to actually do it correctly. So we'll follow what the AI says. Is flashlight on, and then branch is it greater than 0. So the first false, which is this one, do nothing, and then this one we're going to say turn flashlight off. It wants us to begin play by calling turn flashlight off, so we can do that. and turn flashlight off. So now let's try and play. So if I come here and press F, we have our flashlight on, like so. And what I can do is, let's say on event tick, we'll do a print string, and we'll set the duration to 0.1, and we'll set the key to 1. We'll get the flashlight battery drain level and just plug that in so we can see what's happening. Like this. If I turn that on, you can see it counting down. So let's try turning the drain rate to 5. Let's get it down quicker. So press F. You can see we're draining the battery. Or then if I reach 0, it should then turn off. See? And we're off. So that's the basic flashlight. So if you see now, it's giving more enhancements to it that we could do, like this. But I'm going to ask it a different question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new chat with it. And if I do this, I'm going to open a new chat and say, okay, now I want to lower the light in the map to better show the flashlight. So let's ask it that. So as you can see, what it's doing now is it's actually checking through the level to see what light actors there are. So it's going through and seeing all the actors it knows that are light actors. Okay. So now it's found the lighting setup. We've got 2 main sources in your first person map. We've got directional light and the skylight. So the recommended adjustments are to select the directional light, like this. In the details panel, find the light section. Reduce the intensity from 3 to somewhere between 0.5 and 1. So 0.3. There we go. So now we have it darker. So nice. But that's not all we can do with Aura. What we can also do is, if we open another chat, we can say, create me a one-page website, website that can be used as a README for this project to help a new developer figure where things are. So let's try this. I'm just going to pause this while it does this. So there we go. Here's what we have. So we have Aurora FPS project README. And here we can see the core blueprint. So it's told us what each blueprint is. It's told us what the input system, the current maps, where the weapon assets are, and it's actually listed the directory on Unreal, where the character assets, where the level design stuff is. It's labeled the key features, and then here we have a getting started section. So what I want it to do now is turn this into a simple but functional web page to host online. So let's take that, what it's just created, And now it's going to turn it into a HTML document for us. So let's just let this do its work. The reason I'm not fast forwarding this section is because I want to show the current state of the project, or the application, should I say. Okay, so now I'm going to take this code here and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it into a notepad, and I'm just going to call it index.html and then select all files. And then what I'm going to do is go to my desktop and open the web page. Here we go. So it's converted the data from here into a nice looking web page here that you could give to someone to introduce them to the project. So it shows our key systems, how to get started, the current features. So what I'm going to say now to it is, it's even telling us how to host it online and how to set up GitHub pages. So what we're going to say is, what features should I add next to the game to make it a really spooky horror game? Because you don't have to use it just for like figuring code out. You can also use it to come up with new ideas. Because it can read the project, it knows what you currently have, and then it can look at the different things you already have and add new things to it. So what it's doing now is it's just querying the project to see what we can do. So here we go. So start here. So the first thing we should do is we should build a dynamic horror audio system. Then he wants us to add new flashlight mechanics. The AI system. So he wants us to add a stalker AI. Enemy that follow at distance, hide with flashlight point to them. So next, atmospheric. We should work on prototyping the level. Add some psychological horror. And then we're going to make procedural horror events. We're going to make an inventory. And then it's actually broke it up into a roadmap. Like this. So a quick win, start with audio. Can you turn that into a roadmap HTML document to share with a team so I can present it at the meeting? Let's try this. I'm curious to see what it actually does. So while Larry's doing, I'll talk about some of the other features that they are planning on adding. So one of the things there is there is an option for a blockout tool. And from my understanding is you can feed in an image, what I imagine would be like a top-down quick sketch. The plugin will then process that and actually build the level in a map using a blockout meshes and things like that, which I think will be really useful to speed up the project. So for me, they did say this could happen because it's work in progress, that it's actually stopped generating. So I just need to ask continue on, and then it should continue on generating. There we go. They said this should be fixed for the actual release, but I'm using the development build, and all it's done is it split the HTML up into two different sections like this. So let's just let this continue on with what it's doing. And see what we actually get at the end. Okay, so we're going to do the same again. So we're going to take that, and I'm just going to replace what I have here. Scroll to the top, and I'm going to grab from this section, and then all the way up, and paste it above this section here. So lower that, paste, and save. And then let's refresh. So there we go. Now we've turned it into a roadmap for our project. So priority 1, core horror foundations. Priority 2, atmospheric horror. Priority 3, horror, advanced horror systems. And it's actually built a nice roadmap thing here. It's got technical implementation. And then it's even generated some milestones for us. And like immediate action, this is what we should do. So as you can see, even in its such an early stage, like I say, it's been in development, they said 2.5 months. It's still quite powerful, I believe. And you can really use it if you want to learn Unreal. I think that's one of the big things. Or if you have ideas on mechanics that you want to do, but you're not sure how to implement them, you can use this as a way to have someone always there to talk you through things. Because it can see the code that you're using here, it can help by directly looking at it and figuring out what's the issue. So this also works with C++ code. And they did mention in the meeting we had recently that they are working on a way to implement it into VS Code. So you'll have that at some point. For now, I think it can work with Cursor, but I haven't personally tested it myself. So like I say, if you're interested in this, you can come to the website that'll be linked below, and you can join the waitlist. They also have a Discord that I am on, and a few other content creators are a part of. They are based in the US, so unfortunately, myself and the team are on like opposite sides. So there's a very small period of time where I can communicate, but they've always answered really friendly. We've had meetings on Google Meet, and it's been really nice. So just to clarify, not being paid, I just have access, and they've also given access to my small indie team I'm a part of, and we've all been trying it out. So if you're interested, below there'll be a Google form that you can fill in, just your name, just some like your email, what you want to use it for, and then you have a chance of winning a invite to use it. So I hope this has been interesting. If you have any questions about it, leave in the comments. If you want to see more videos, please let me know like this, because I don't mind doing things like this. So like I said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.